I'm Jeremy Morgan from KodeKloud. So the Cursor CLI was just released. Now CLI means command line interface. And what this is a command line version of Cursor, which you might be familiar with from the IDE. And this is a command line version that has an agent that runs right at your command line. And there are a lot of new features, so let's dive right in. So the Cursor CLI is pretty cool. It lets you interact with AI agents directly from the terminal, right? And you're probably familiar with the Cursor IDE, maybe used it once or twice, but it is essentially a visual code style IDE with Cursor embedded in it, and it's a part of kind of all the things you do in development. But now Cursor has a CLI component, right? And what's cool about this is there's an interactive terminal interface, if you prefer that, and there's some automation stuff that we'll go through. Now, this is just a one-line install. So essentially, you do curl, cursor.com install, etc. to bash. Now, I already have it installed, but let's see. It still says complete. And I'm on a Mac, but this is pretty much the same on Windows or Linux. You echo in this export to add it to your path, and then you just type in cursor agent. Now, I already have it set up to authenticate here, but the first time you run it, it will pop open a web browser so you can log into Cursor to sign in with your Cursor account. Now here it says, trust this workspace. Well, right now we're kind of in a, who knows where we are in a workspace, but what I'm going to do is I'll create a small project. We can take a look at it and we'll use the Cursor agent. Okay, and here's something important to note. It says right now we're in projects, Cursor test, and it says this is not a Git repository, so Cursor rules and ignore files don't apply. So if you've used Cursor, the IDE before, there's a set of Cursor rules that you have and some ignore files to tell the Git not to commit certain things. Those things don't apply in this because this isn't a Git repository. But what we can do here is it says plan, search, build anything. I'll say create a Python script to read a CSV file. Now, what we need to do, of course, is create a CSV file for it to read. Now, Makaroo is one of my favorite sites for generating test data, right? So it generates realistic looking data, but it's not actual people's information. And so what I have here is ID, first name, last name, email, gender, IP. That's fine. 1,000 of them. We'll generate it, and this is the one we will use. Okay, so I've downloaded it and saved it in user data CSV. So I'm going to say here, the CSV file to read is, and I could do at, and there's user data CSV right there. I can say at user data CSV. So follow that format. I want to display just the first and last names of each user and a total count. Boom. So we can put that in. And with these prompts, this is basic prompt engineering, right? And they're starting to call it context engineering. And what that means is bringing in the context, which is exactly what we did with this prompt. So we brought in the CSV file to read is user data CSV. We're bringing that in as context to help with the prompt. And so you're able to do that just by hitting that @ sign. You can bring in different files to use as a part of your initial prompt or ongoing prompts. If we say, build a CSV reader, it might just create something generic and silly and we have to modify it. But this way I'm saying create one for this file that's going to read this file. We'll probably be able to run it the first time and have it work. And it says here, I'll create a Python script list usernames.py that reads user data CSV, prints each user's first and last name, and shows the total. And now, back at our bash terminal, we can see we have list usernames py. So I'll do Python 3, list usernames py, and look at that. It shows me a list of all of the users' first and last name, and then of course it says total users 1,000, which is great. But here's another thing to consider. What if I'm in the middle of my Cursor agent and I don't want to escape out of the Cursor agent and at the same time, I want to run shell commands. Well, then I could just do this. Run a command, ls/la, and it runs the command. Go here, say Python 3, list user names.py, and there we go. And it's truncated, of course, so the output is truncated for all of these. You can do Control-0 or Control-O to expand. Now, let's take a look at some of these slash commands. Like we mentioned earlier, we have model, we have auto run, which is where you can toggle auto run all of the commands and things like that. Or it can say, are you sure you want to do this? Do you want to modify this file? Or you can set it so it just runs. You can start a new chat session. You can summarize the conversation to reduce context. This is really important. If you get a really big, long conversation, it can really start to eat up tokens. It can actually start to hallucinate a little bit. So being able to summarize this and reduce the context is super important. You can toggle Vim keys, so you can use Vim within the command line. You can toggle line numbers. You can run shell, which we just saw. We can do help command, send feedback. So here you can say, send feedback that will go directly with the developers on the Cursor team. And we can open the repository's Git root in Cursor, which is the Cursor IDE, which /Cursor does the same thing. Here's resume chat and copy request ID. So this here we can do, if we're going with an ongoing chat here, and I can say something like, I'm just going to say, evaluate the comments in list usernames py. Boom. PyDoc syntax and follow best practices. So we can kick this thing off, and then what I can do is I can then escape out of here. So I can run a shell command within here, or I can escape out of it and then return to that exact same session so that it knows where we're at, what we're doing, and what's going on. Okay, now we can see here that this has been edited, so we can do this /quit. And we can see here, if we want to resume this session and just go back, pick up right where we left off, we can do cursor-agent, resume, and pick up where we left off. You can also do resume chat, and you can see a couple of different chats we have available here. So you can go back and resume those ones as well. Now, finally, I'm going to show you the coolest thing about the Cursor CLI. So everything you just saw was interactive mode, but Cursor CLI also has a non-interactive mode, which means you can't ask questions back and forth like we were doing. Things like that. You can only send it commands and tell it to do something. And like a true AI agent, it will go out and do those things. Now, what is that useful for? Well, definitely for automation. So anything in your CI/CD process that you want to include Cursor in, or just some regular automation where you can say something like this. Cursor-agent -P for non-interactive mode. We can say, search this file for security vulnerabilities. If found, log them to security report.md. And even in here, you can say model GPT-5, whatever, if you want to specify a specific model.
If you want to change the output format, by default, it outputs things into JSON, but you can do output format of text if you'd like. And then you can just kick this off. So this can be run in a bash script. It can be run as a GitHub action. It could be run a million different ways. Pick your different automation tool. And this is essentially the same as running a bash command or a PowerShell command or something like that. So it says, I'll check the current directory, identify the target file, etc. And then you can see it's kind of going and doing its thing. And now we have our results. But it does say, would you like me to implement the recommended mitigations in username PY? So this is not truly non-interactive. So what we need to do is say, I would like to implement mitigations or not. You would answer that. So this could be a report here, and we'll clear. You can see here we have a security report. It says unsanitized terminal output, potential PII exposure, etc. And it goes down through these. So one of the things that you could do that would be pretty cool is you could run this automated report every time you do a push to a CI/CD system. You can run a security report, you can run a code quality report, etc. So this is one of the handy things about Cursor Agent. So I just wanted to give you a quick rundown of what it does, how it works. It's pretty awesome.
I hope this has been a good, useful look into the Cursor CLI, and I hope it's useful for you. So if you have any questions, add a comment below. Join our Discord to chat with us about all things tech. If you like this kind of content, subscribe to our channel here at KodeKloud. Thank you for watching.